Welcome everyone. Today we are not spectating a challenger game, but okay, already action happening, but a viewer game. Nami got caught out there. This is from the viewer. I think in YouTube he goes with the name Silverstrings Gia or something. He plays Misfortune, and he was wondering whether he utilized his keystone correctly. And yeah, we will pay attention to that. He's using Conqueror, and he's in kind of a tough spot there. Nami needed to recall. Historically, Nami tends to be a very strong level 1 champion, but being caught out, being low HP, Warwick deciding to rather start topside and not deal with the level 1 Ezreal poke. Okay, so Misfortune got to lane, Nami got to full health again, nothing too bad happened. And I'm very sorry that there was no video yesterday, and maybe not even the day before yesterday, depending on when I upload this. Yeah, I've caught a very nasty cold and I kind of lost my voice, but now I got it back to some extent, so I can produce videos again. And I think this is a nice idea. He actually requested in the comments, if you want me to review one of your games too, then feel free to leave me a comment with your in-game summoner and your server. Well, as long as it's an English-speaking server, I can just create an account and go from there with a replay file. Well, yeah, but this game is Diamond 5, Diamond 4, low Diamond Elo. Someone died, Warwick died to the Lee Sin. Yeah, Lee Sin, of course, very strong level 1, but bot lane getting pinged there, I really don't like it. Bot lane was not in a position to follow at all. They are still level 1 and they cannot give up this level 2 so easily. And still they are level 1. The Lee Sin is there, they see him, it's warded. I have the fog of war from red team's perspective. However, the Lee Sin... No, then did the Nami get the... No, Lee Sin got the blue buff. So he is gone and Warwick is super far behind. I chose this game, by the way, because I think it is a very interesting game. I looked at the gold graph and at some point a major throw happened, and I want to see how and why, and how it could have been prevented, and maybe how the team that won the game in the end forced that throw. We will see. Yeah, but the enemy have a... Well, okay, they get ganked, they have no vision. They knew Lee Sin was bot side, however they play far enough back so they can turn, and the enemy is rather low. Now, Conqueror kicks in, but to be honest, in lane, you cannot really do too much to play around or to play with Conqueror. It kind of just happens. Well, most of the time you've been last hitting for long enough that your Conqueror is ready to go anyway. In lane, it's debatable. But okay, very nice flash. Yeah, the Ezreal stepped a little bit too far forward, so flash auto Q or flash Q, I think it was. Yeah, enough to finish him off. Very bad play from the Ezreal's part, but very, very good from bouncing bullets. I just use the in-game summoner now because it's way easier to actually notice the mistake and punish. Yeah, but as far as Conqueror is concerned, in lane, you actually would think that the true damage conversion is kind of worthless, which is true because the more armor the enemy have, the better your true damage conversion is, the more valuable it is, because when they have no armor to begin with, there's not that big of a difference between physical damage and true damage, is there? However, you must not forget that Conqueror also provides you with flat AD values. I think it starts with 10 AD at level 1 and 35 AD at level 18, and this actually does a lot of damage, and it's very misleading. The tooltip only shows you the total true damage dealt and the true damage dealt that would have been mitigated. However, it does never take into account how much extra damage you dealt because of the bonus AD you get, which makes it super hard to evaluate Conqueror's... evaluate the worth of Conqueror just by looking at in-game data. Yeah, but on statistics websites such as OPGG, Conqueror tends to do very well, especially now after the patch. Misfortune is a very strong champion, and Conqueror is still a pretty good keystone on her, which I was kind of surprised. I predicted that Conqueror would fall off because crit got way worse. Apparently people still try to make crit work, but I would rather play lethality. Okay, now Nami lands a crucial bubble, and Ezreal is super low. Nami will die though, she's way too low. Ezreal flashes in, which is another major blunder. And yeah, nothing much to say about, not too much to say about this there, because yeah, when your enemy low health flashes in, greeting for a kill, you of course can just right click them and they die. Yeah, but this is just standard laning, I guess. We can have a look. Ezreal is getting out-farmed by a huge amount. 15. This is basically another extra kill in terms of gold. And, well, he did buy his tier, and he's looking at the tier, refreshing. He's probably on his way back to lane and spamming abilities. As far as gold is concerned, yeah, Misfortune is now relatively rich, and she should look for a back to spend her gold, which she does. Yeah, the classic push the lane on the tower as soon as you get a kill, which happened there, which is very good. Top lane, well, while Misfortune is buying items, we might as well look at the top lane, shall we? Right, Warwick is approaching stealthily. The honey fruit. Right, yeah, kind of a messy fight there. Red team was not too sure about their vision, and now they get blown out. Right, we could go over this little skirmish, but I'd much rather focus on what Misfortune is doing, and yeah, we are kind of watching from her perspective, right? So I could basically rewatch this little fight 6 times and make a commentary for each of the 6 perspectives from which we could watch, but I'd much rather have this video very concise and feed you the information you actually want, so I focus on Misfortune. Okay, she bought, rather, the components for Duskblade or Ghostblade. I don't quite know. Well, either is fine. Since you are not in the domination tree with Conqueror Keystone, I think it's probably better to start Ghostblade, just for the extra roaming. And Duskblade is really nice for the vision. But the only reason to really buy it first over Ghostblade is if you need to stack your eyeball collection, which in this game apparently, well, obviously is not the case. Okay, the wave is pushing up towards blue side now. This is an awkward spot. This is a 4 minion advantage for blue side, well, for red side rather. But this means that blue side could freeze the wave if they have lane priority and they desire to do so. But nevertheless, this is not a good position to be in because you're very open to the jungler. This bush is not warded, so you should, yeah, they're doing the correct thing. They push this in and retreat to safety. Not looking to buy though, I think. Well, let's have a look at gold. Yeah, it's not that much. They cannot really get anything. They just retreated to safety, which was the correct play because they have no idea where the jungler is. Warwick is bot side, so he could go for a counter gank. But still, you'd much rather be safe than risking unnecessary stuff. Right now, they are preparing what looks like a minion crash dive with 4 people. Well, they don't have that big of a wave, but still, with 4 man, you can still dive those 2. But looks kind of ditches them. Thinks it's not a good idea, which is probably safer. It's probably safer to just farm this wave than to go for a risky dive. If there had been a big minion wave, then this would have been an awesome opportunity, and it's very good that the Lux actually looked for the play, even though it turned out to not happen at all. Alright, well, Nami's level 6, Misfortune's also level 7, which means... I'm sorry, I'm still a little bit sick, but I really don't want to not give you content. Well, they are having their ultimates up, both of them, which means they can combo them to great effect, and there it happens. Of course, Misfortune not having the time to stack her Conqueror, and they do get the pike. Now the Conqueror is ready. Yeah, it's that's the reason I don't really like Conqueror. It doesn't feel good to well, you pick Conqueror for those epic ults where you just melt through everybody with enhanced AD and true damage, but most of the time you don't really have the opportunity to stack and trigger Conqueror before the fight happens. Now I'm looking to 1v1 the Ezreal. Misfortune could have helped, which would have... yeah, she gets spam pinged. The thing, okay, let me explain. The thing is, the play from the Misfortune was correct. The wave was way too big to, well, I think I can just let this, it's just farming happening, I don't need to pause. Misfortune needed to get that big minion wave, which is worth probably almost as much as a kill by itself. And Nami, however, wanted to kill the Ezreal, which is, of course, a bad call, because it's way safer and also very beneficial to just farm the wave. But seeing that the Nami actually goes for the play, Misfortune should just follow, just because, well, Nami made a mistake, but now Misfortune knows Nami made a mistake, and you have the opportunity to bail her out of it, and so you probably should do it. But yeah, staying back there and letting the Nami die, yeah, it's basically worse than giving up the minions and killing the Ezreal and saving the Nami. But yeah, you kind of... It's always frustrating when you know what the correct play is, but your teammates apparently don't, and then you need to... You have to miss out on the correct play just to make the bad play not as bad. Yeah, but that would have been the correct decision here. Let's look at Misfortune's items. Yeah, Ghostblade first. Looks like Lord Dominic's Regards second. Or maybe Edge of Night, I don't know. In this game, specifically, I would not buy Lord Dominic's Regard. Okay, this is a no-brainer. Well, let's rewatch this, because I was rambling. Okay, we have... Let's break this down. We have the initiation from the Nami, which seems to miss. Unfortunate. The bubble from the Nami, which, yeah, you also, well, if you want to start a team fight, you best do it with hard CC, and apparently, yeah, now finally the team fight is initiated by the Warwick ultimate, and now everyone can follow up. This is basic team fight dynamics. Well, the stunned target is of course the easiest one, so Misfortune just ults right away to secure the kill. And now it's a 3 versus 2, which should be an easy cleanup. Yeah, Misfortune is flash for flash. Well, they lose the Warwick, but yeah, this could have been cleaner. Maybe if Misfortune had protected the Warwick a little bit better. Because now blue team's backup is coming faster than red team's. Still, it's a favorable fight, because everything because red team got the initiation. They got more kills. They got 3 kills. Only lost 2 members, which is of course advantageous. And Misfortune gets the free farm. Yeah, that was a good fight. Could have been a little bit better in my opinion if... well, on the other hand, Misfortune finished off the Ezreal with a flash there. But seeing that both mid laners went bot lane, it was probably the better play to not flash after the Ezreal but protect the Warwick and turn around the fight that way. But still, it was an okay fight. Red team came out on top, and Misfortune looks pretty much fed right now. Okay, we have a... Excuse me. I'm still not that fit. Well, Misfortune has a BF sword on top of her pickaxe, which looks like she's going to buy a Stormrazor, which is an okay item. I like it. Okay. Let's have a look at this. They're fighting around Scuttlecrab, by the way. The blue team, however, ends up taking it. Alright. Well, Misfortune is an okay Stormrazor user. Well, I think it's a good item on her as long as you have some more AD behind it. So as a first item or second item, I don't know. I don't really like it too much. Okay, well, another little mini team fight happening there. Let's look at that. All right, Misfortune getting some poke on the Ezreal, which is fine. They see the Warwick. Well, red team knows Warwick is coming, and unfortunately Nami gets hooked, which of course blue team initiated. Nami is low. Nami is an easy target out of position. Under the influence of crowd control. She does get her ulti off, but not, it's not enough to save her life. Well, but the Ezreal dies afterwards, so it's fine, basically. And they knew they had the backup with Warwick, so the fight itself was no big deal. Yeah, but Nami should have avoided the hook, then this would have been even better, obviously. Nice, Misfortune is getting super fed here. Yeah, but I was talking about Stormrazor. It does give AD and it does give attack speed, and you do get a free crit for 160% damage every 2 and something seconds, because it scales down with your attack speed. But the thing is, if you want to nuke down your primary target, you can Q auto, or you can auto Q, and Q auto is faster. Sometimes you only get the Q off, sometimes you only get the auto off if you, well, more often it's more likely you only get the auto off if you go for the auto first, because Q animation you can cancel that very early, and auto animation you cancel rather late. But if you have your Q on level 5, your Q does 100 extra damage. And with Stormrazor, you obviously want to auto first, so you hit your primary target with the crit, and then you are not actually doing that much more damage compared to your Q, because, okay, the Ezreal got ambushed there. However, he does manage to get away. They do get his heal, which is nice. But I was talking about Stormrazor. Yeah, because when you only have like 200 AD in total, then, well, 200 would be quite. Oh wait, I need a rough number to estimate. Can I see the, yeah, 280. Okay, 280 is actually a good estimation. Let's do the maths. With your Q, you do 100 plus 207. It's 307, and with your Stormrazor crit, you do 207 times 1.6, which is quick maths, 329-ish or something. And so you are actually not doing that much more damage than with your Q, compared to when you have, let's say, 500 AD. Then those this factor of 1.6 actually outweighs your Q damage by a lot. So the later you buy Stormrazor, the better, obviously. Well, you should probably buy it first if you go for a... An army got caught out there, her fault. I won't go over that again. Yeah, Misfortune correctly now recalling, because she's 1v2 and does not want to mess with that. On top of this, okay, she actually does. She is worth a lot of shutdown gold, so this is a very, very important thing to keep in mind. You do need to preserve your KDA. Being 9-1 is way, way better than going 9-0, way better than going 10-1. Yeah, that's the correct order there. Yeah, just because of the shutdown gold, and because you're such a big threat, you should rather be somewhere missing on the map, so the enemy cannot freely check bushes, for example, because they always need to be afraid of the fed enemy in that bush waiting for them. And if you're dead, they can regain vision control, they get the shutdown gold, they get everything. So you should be very conservative once you have a lead that is that big. Well, of course you should be looking to push your advantage, but not make unnecessarily risky plays like 1v2ing, which didn't happen. Good on you, Misfortune. But, okay, I got interrupted again. If you want to buy Stormrazor first, no, the other way around. If you want to go for a crit build on Misfortune, then you should buy Stormrazor first, because, yeah, that's basically how crit builds work these days. You buy your Stormrazor. Well, if you buy just your Infinity Edge, you of course get no value, because it's just 70 AD for a lot of gold, and very inefficient, obviously, because it doubles your crit chance, and 2 times 0 is still 0. So the other option would be to start with a Zeal item, which is also not optimal, because it doesn't give you any AD, and attack speed and crit need AD to do actually damage. Yeah, because they multiply the AD you are having on you, basically. And if you didn't buy any AD, then it's only multiplying your base AD, which is not as high. So you should buy an AD item first. And since you can no longer rush Infinity Edge or Essence Reaver, all you're left with is... Let's see what happens. Nice. Well, wait, he didn't die. Oh, that's unlucky. Yeah, but it was a nice try. I'm sorry. Wait, what was I about to say? Yeah, you basically need to buy Stormrazor first, because it gives you AD, and it actually scales with your Zeal item that you will buy afterwards, and then you can buy Infinity Edge. You still have a 3 items power spike basically, but with more AD behind it, which actually makes crit on Misfortune more viable, because Misfortune likes AD way better than attack speed. But still, I think, well, it is fine-ish to go crit on Misfortune, but I think the lethality build is just so much better. Well, it comes online way quicker, way earlier into the game, and the crit items are so expensive. It is good once you have the items, but really, I don't think the trade-off is worth it. You get your power spikes later, and the lethality build is still good, so... Well, it's not still... It's even better after the patch because of Last Whisper changes, right? But, oh well. Stormrazor... yeah, Stormrazor is a very good item on Misfortune regardless. Wait, the sound is so loud. Like, though. Yeah, in crit builds you buy it early, in lethality builds you buy it late. Team Misfortune decided to buy it somewhat early. I kinda don't agree with that. Yeah, but now she is completing her Dustblade and her boots. Nami is dead again, I would imagine, yeah. Well, Misfortune is in the mid lane. Well, bot tower has fallen, so it's very unsafe territory. As we just saw, Nami was just way out of position. I have no idea what she was attempting to do there. Good on Misfortune, not suiciding randomly. And as of now, this game is rather even. I looked at the gold graph, and it should be slightly in red team's favor, obviously, but... Wait, I can actually see the total gold, can't I? No, I can't. Unlucky. Okay. Wait, we want to go over this fight. We definitely do. Right, so the Fizz is jumping about and baiting out the ulti from Lux. Misfortune chases. Okay, now she retreats. She does get hit by Vladimir ult. And she's out of position. Yeah, Misfortune, the chase, that was what cost you your life there. At this point, you see the Lux missed her Q, and well, you can see 3 of them to be fair, but still, you have no idea whether you know the Pyke is approaching actually, and you have no idea where the Vladimir is. You do get the Q off. This is the latest point. You could have probably returned still, but you keep on chasing a little bit, and yeah, that's a nail in the coffin. Vladimir gets a free ult off. You barely dodge the Fizz ult, and Pyke just yeah, obliterates you with his damage. Yeah, but being greedy, getting caught out of position like that, yeah, that's something you should be avoiding at all costs. And now red team is fighting without their AD carry and without Lux ulti. Everybody is really low though, and they do outnumber. Yeah, but still, this could have been a way cleaner fight. So in this, yeah, it's slightly in blue team's favor because red team lost 3 members. Yeah, yeah, the AD carry playing frontliner basically. Yeah, that was one of the few misplays in this game. You did really well, I have to admit. But this one play, yeah, I think you know yourself that you should not have chased that. I'm also explaining for the other viewers who might not see the problem there. Well, yeah, now everyone's just inting one by one, which is of course a bad idea. You need to regroup. Yeah, now blue team kind of caught up. It's 19 to 19 kills, and towers look even-ish. 1, 1, 1. Yeah, okay. Red team is slightly ahead still, but now Misfortune getting dueled by the Pyke again, and the Fizz cleaning up. Yeah, let's see. Let's see where you walk this time. You're clearing this ward, which is fine. I'm sorry. Trying to farm this wave. You see the Fizz, you do not see the Pyke. Yeah, this is the solo queue classic of not respecting stealth. It happens all the time. It happens to me quite a lot too. When the enemy have a Twitch, and I think I need to ban Pyke more often because I got bopped by Pyke quite a few times as well by now, which is not fun. Yeah, you think you're safe, but you really you're not. You can just sneak up on you. Yeah, respect invisibility. That's all I gotta say about that. Alright, but yeah, I wanted to focus on your keystone, but that's the thing, the keystone does not actually, well, the effect, the stats that it provides synergize perfectly with Misfortune's kit, but the way it actually works, it's set up, does not synergize at all. So you kind of have to hope that the stars align and that you get your Conqueror proc off. But doesn't happen too often, unfortunately. Right, Misfortune a little bit late to the party. The Ezreal, however, did get caught out. Right, now Misfortune can join. The Pyke is there. Is Conqueror ready? Yeah, now it's ready. And now it wore off again, I think. We see. Yeah, we can see the Conqueror marks somewhere. Yeah, there we can see it. Alright. Conqueror again doing not too much this game. Well, this fight. That's what I meant to say. Now it's the tough decision. Let's pause here real quick. The enemy have 4 members dead. And blue team, it's 23 minutes into the game, so fairly early for Baron. But blue team has a big tank and all people alive, so the best play I think would be to rush to Baron immediately. Yeah, the jungler is dead for another 34 seconds. Yeah, it's probably the best idea to just rush Baron at this point, because if you take this and then take this, you no longer can take Baron, because it's you won't take it quick enough, the enemy will respawn. And a Baron is, the rule of thumb, a Baron is worth as much as 2 inhibitors. So had they secured the Baron there, now they need to recall and fight over it. And they can no longer take it for free. And they do it fairly quickly. Cho'Gath can tank most of it. Well, now the damage is spread more evenly. But still, Cho'Gath is a big tank who can eat the main damage sources, the Baron abilities. Warwick shreds Baron crazily. And you are 5 people. You should have just taken Baron. Could have taken it by now. Yeah, but free inhib, it's probably the safer play, because everyone needs to go to Baron. If one of the red team members decides to randomly just farm another camp, this is too late. This is a very decision you have to make very abruptly. Now we take Baron as 5, and then you can do it. But of course, if one of your teammate bails out, yeah, you are kind of lost, because the enemy can just respawn, take longer to kill it, and then you, in worst case, they catch you while doing it, steal it, and kill all of you. So yeah, in solo queue, it's probably better to go for the safe inhibitor. But on paper, the Baron call would be correct here. Alright, now red team is ahead again as far as objectives and map pressure, and they have more kills. Blue team has the Infernal though, which is also not to be neglected. Yeah, he bought his Executioners now for the Vladimir, which is of course the correct play. If there are some key champions that can be on the enemy team that basically force you to buy a healing reduction item, and yeah, you should probably do this for your teammates sometimes, even if it would be correct that they bought it, because they simply do not care or they do not know how to build correctly. That was a atrocious ulti, but let's recap this fight real quick. Right, let's see what happens here. Just some poking. Right. Now the Ezreal softened them up with his ulti, and the Vladimir goes in with Predator as a... He wants to basically create a fight or flight response from the red team, which kind of works. They retreat and pop Zhonya's, but he dives way too deeply. He's too low to deal with that. And yeah, Vladimir's down. Now red team has 1, 2, 3, 4 members in the fight, and Warwick approaching with full health and at super speed. While blue team is with 1, 2, 3 visible members, and let's see where the other ones are. Pyke is nowhere to be found. So blue team, remember, blue team initiated this fight. They were outnumbered by the red team. Pyke is not near the fight, and Vladimir already died because he greeted. Okay, yeah, this is what I want. And now this should be an easy fight for red team, and afterwards they will take Baron, and then the game will be over. Okay, Misfortune ults. Wasted. Who cares? You do outnumber. You have plenty of abilities up still. Another Pike might be on his way. Let's actually have a look. Where is he? Oh, he didn't even bother. Okay. That's of course also game losing. If you do not immediately run towards your team to back them up, then yeah, your own fault basically. Red team lost 1 member, blue team lost 3. They are greeting for the Nexus turrets, which I'm not sure about. It's a little bit iffy. Well, Cho'Gath can tank, and Misfortune can take Nexus turrets very quickly with a left tap. Yeah. They do not even need to take Baron. It would be safer, but they do not need to. They can just dive them because Cho'Gath can tank for days. And now this is game over. Yeah, as far as the Keystone is concerned, as I've said, Misfortune does not have the best ways to set it up. So you kind of have to be lucky to get a good Conqueror ult off. Oh, the game isn't over actually. I didn't watch respawn time is. However, blue team have lost both of their Nexus turrets. Well, the shutdown was unfortunate. But... yeah, they both lost too many members. Neither team can do Baron right now. And blue team is losing their base. They need to defend this at all times due to the fact that red team could be backdooring with teleport. Yeah, they correctly... Let's point this out real quick. No, I didn't want that. I wanted this. They placed this pink ward there just to see if the enemy team have warded this area to prevent this exact backdoor maneuver. And also to have a ward to which they can teleport themselves if need be. So yeah, if you find yourself in the situation where your inhibitor's down and you lose 2 of the Nexus turrets, always place a control ward right there. It's super important. Alright, but red team can now for free create so much map pressure. Remember, the super minions are walking down there and there is not a single turret to stop them, so blue team will have to respond very, very soon. And as soon as that happens, red team can just freely take Baron, or do whatever they desire. Go to another lane, push that in. Creating pressure around the Baron area would be the correct play right now, of course after taking this free dragon. Everything that is free, just take it. Free trades in lane, take them. Free dragons, take them. Free towers, take them. That's of course a no-brainer, or at least it should be. That's not the Fog of War wants. Yeah, that's the Fog of War want. Why are they fighting? Who initiated that fight, and why is it happening at all? Alright, red team attempting to run down mid lane. Nami landing a bubble on the Vladimir. Yeah, that was super dumb. Okay, but Vladimir is out. He took a lot of free damage. Red team keeps chasing. They wasted their most important cooldowns. Lux is out of position. However, the Cho'Gath and the Warwick are so strong. Let's see their score. Well, not too impressive, but they are pretty tanky and can peel for the MF, who is very fed. Okay. So Vladimir does die for his overextension earlier. And now red team is again outnumbering blue team. The fight is free. They can't do anything. Pyke tries to clean up with his ulti, but of course he trades 1 for 1, which is probably the best that he could have hoped for. And still, trading 1 for 1 when you're down in members is bad. Because 4 versus 5 is way more manageable than 3 versus 4. You could imagine it like... it's basically... wait. The fewer members, the fewer players are on the map, the more crucial is a 1-player difference. Because 0 to 1, of course, the 1 player can do whatever he wants. Nobody is there to stop him. 2 versus 1, they outnumber their enemy by twice the size. Well, of course, you have to... It sounds lazy, but you have to analyze it mathematically like that, just to understand Yeah, so the pike trading there was probably a very bad idea. And now they just lose their base for free. They can't do anything. Yeah, but what really ended the game right then and there. They have to finish off the inhib first because game mechanics. Yeah, the Vladimir being overextended and giving Nami a free hard engage on him. Yeah, that's game losing. Alright, so I hope you've all learned something. If you want me to review one of your games too, you can do that, as I've mentioned, if you just let me... Well, yeah, leave me a comment behind with your summoner name. It doesn't matter which elo you're in, I will spectate a bronze game if need be. There's probably a lot to point out there too, so no worries, just do it. Yeah, and leave me a like if you did, subscribe if you want to see more of this, and I'll see you next time.